Now, some of the help that we had working in that store, just they had their jobs because there was nobody there else there that could do the jobs at the time. So I was pretty good at stealing some of the help. So I was able to steal a grocery manager from Food Town, who had worked as a grocery manager for me in the East Brunswick store, and his name was Mike. And he's just like Teddy, one of the best. Would do anything for you. Tons of hours he worked for you. He worked for money. He got paid for it. You know, he made. So he was well compensated. But nothing can compensate for having the right people in the right place, doing the right job for you. That is so critical in that business, in that store. I was there for 19 years, and he made so much money for us, and did so many things for me to make my job so much easier. And I will forever, ever, ever be beholding to him for what he did to make the job so pleasurable, for as long as it remained pleasurable. Um, him, the night crew chief George, another outstanding person. Um, would do anything for you, anything to get the job done. And those two really became the key to the success in that store. Um, and then we got a bakery manager, but I can't take credit for that. Chris came. She was also a Food Town person, and in her own right, she was very good at what she did. Um, and when I got to that store, the appetizing department was one of those appetizing departments or the deli, if you want to call it the deli. It was just a little hole in the window, and they had machinery back there to cut cold cuts, and two people back there packaging them, and I talked them into expanding the store and putting in a real deli where you had help standing back there. And boy, was that a mistake! It became so popular, the deli was so busy that we just never had enough help to be able to take care of the customers that were there, um, to shop there. It was a very busy deli, and made some money. And Augie became my deli manager as well as my security person, and he did a pretty good job for not knowing a lot about a deli in taking care of that. Um, Sergio, my assistant, had been there. He had worked there since he was 16 in that store, and he was one of the most caring people I'd ever met, ever. He cared so much and did so much to help try and maintain that store. He's now the manager there since I retired, and he's good people. And there was some other assistants and front end people and different things. And it was tough trying to teach them to do um, things the way we wanted them to do it, not the way they were used to doing it. I remember the night crew filed a lawsuit against me, um, because they said I was picking on them because I was making them pack out the product onto the shelves. That was their job. That's what they were getting paid for. But it turned out after depositions and all the rest of that stuff, the case got thrown out of court. But at one point in time, they were taking depositions from the guy, and the guy would say, well, the other store manager that used to be here, he didn't care what was on the shelf. He didn't care, like I walked in one day and there was aluminum foil packed out in the canned tomato section. And it wasn't just like a package laying there, it was actually filled with aluminum foil. I said, well, why do you have aluminum foil sitting in here? And they would get mad that I would question that. Well, because we're filling a hole. Or you don't fill a hole with something that doesn't even belong in the aisle. And you don't fill the holes. You fill the holes with the proper product, and you have to make sure that you order the right product. Ordering was always a problem in that store. But this person actually thought I was picking on him because I wanted the proper stuff packed out in the proper areas. Can you imagine that? Tell the customer, "I'm sorry, ma'am, I don't have these tomatoes because we decided we wanted to put aluminum foil there today." It was unbelievable, and they actually convinced themselves that this was the right thing to do. So it took a long time to get that stuff straightened out. With putting the right people in place, it worked out. One day I got a phone call. Somebody called asking me for a job. Was one of my ex-head cashiers from the Edison store, and she calls me up. "Hey, boss, I need a job. They're opening up a shop right near my A&P, and they're going to be closing this A&P, so I need a job." So I told her to come up and for an interview, and I would see what I could do because I wasn't real happy with the head cashier that was there. She was okay, but we needed new blood. So wherever I could get new blood into a store, I mean, some of those people that worked in this store have been there for 40 years. I called them dinosaurs. They used to get mad at me, but that's what it was like because they were there forever. I was in the store for 20 years, and I thought I was there forever. But 40 years working in the same place, seeing the same people every day, so stale. And we ended up hiring her, and unfortunately, she ended up becoming my boss. We'll have some stories about that later.